If you're traveling during winter, here are some quick tips for your winter travel essentials that will just make traveling during winter a little bit easier. I just posted a video about winter travel essentials, and in that video, I have a couple of tips that I've also included in this video in case you missed it. Tip number one, if you're looking for some good winter travel essentials, consider secondhand or buying at a thrift store. Some essentials are small and pretty inexpensive, but some are bigger. Like coats and boots, those are more expensive. Buying secondhand can help you save a lot of money, and it can also help you find some good essentials that are gonna keep you warm during your winter travels. I've been a thrifter pretty much my whole life, and over the years, I have thrifted some really good essentials that I bring with me on my travels, like gloves, coats, and boots. You can also buy secondhand through some awesome websites and apps like Poshmark, Depop, ThredUp, eBay, and The RealReal. Speaking of buying secondhand, one of the reasons why I do like going to thrift stores is that usually you can find everything all year round. And with some thrift stores, they even have a discount for items that are off season. This also leads me to my second tip, which is buying your winter essentials off season. If you're not into buying secondhand, that's totally fine. You could still buy some incredible things off season. So for example, if you want to buy a coat, it's easier to already have an idea of a style or the type of coat that you're looking for so that you can snag it at the end of season sales. And depending on the store, some stores will have deep discounts on winter gear at the beginning of spring and summer. And according to the internet, the best time to buy a winter coat is right after New Year. Apparently, this is when a lot of stores will mark down winter items to prepare for spring and summer styles coming in. I will say though, if you do have a particular style or item that you're interested in, make sure you check back frequently to make sure that your size will be in stock when the sale happens. Another tip I have for buying your winter travel essentials is that if you live in a warmer climate, consider buying your essentials in the destination that you're going to or in a colder climate. Like I said in the previous video, if it's not already in your plans, you may not want to spend a ton of your precious vacation looking for winter travel essentials. But if it's already on your to-do list to do a little bit of shopping, then keep your eye out for things that you might be interested in, because chances are they might have better options for you there and the quality might even be better as well. For example, I did this a lot when I go to London. A good chunk of my winter gear that I bought in London. I've now gotten about 3 or 4 coats from London, 2 of which I thrifted. I also love going to M&S and getting their winter thermals if I happen to be there during winter. And they're really nice items that I do not think I would be able to find anything close to it here in Atlanta. Also looked around for gloves and coats when I was in Toronto last winter. Fourth tip is to pack items that are gonna protect your bits. By bits, I'm talking about your nose, your ears, your chest, your fingers, and your toes. This is what I call my bits anyway. I don't know about you, but for me, if any one of those places on my body is cold, I am cold. The items that we use to protect those areas are usually the small items that we always end up forgetting. So don't forget to pack your hats or your earmuffs, your scarves, your gloves, and your socks. The fifth tip I have is that you can use your scarf or your coat as a blanket on the plane if you're flying. I love to do this for a couple of reasons, because number one, I'm always cold on the plane and these help to keep me warm. And number two, I like that I'm keeping it on me so that I can't accidentally forget it. And sometimes depending on the coat that I'm even using for my trip, I'll roll it up. And the rare occasion that I have a window seat, because I'm an owl girl, I'll squish it against the window and use it as a pillow. My next tip is if you don't want to use your coat or your scarf as a blanket on the plane and you are flying, try to keep a plastic bag on you so that when you're boarding the plane, you can quickly wrap up your scarf or your coat and you could stick it in that plastic bag and then stick that plastic bag in the overhead bin or under the seat in front of you. The carpet and the overhead bins are not very clean, and to try to minimize some of that dirt transferring onto your coat and your scarf, you can use this little plastic bag trick. The seventh tip is to wear your heaviest items on the plane if you are flying. That means your heavy coat, your chunky sweaters, your big hefty boots. Wear them all on the plane so you can save a little space in your suitcase and your luggage will be a little bit lighter, and you'll also stay warm. This next tip is for anyone who tends to lose things like me. So since I'm not used to traveling with a coat all that much, I always have this fear that I'm gonna just forget it somewhere. So if you have the same concern as me, here are a couple things that you can do. Number one, you can invest in a foldable coat. Now this is all gonna depend on your destination, how cold you get as a person, because a lot of these foldable jackets and coats aren't necessarily as warm as some of the traditional coats, but it is helpful when you wanna keep track of your stuff, because when you don't need to use the coat anymore, you fold it in itself and then pop it right back in your bag, or you can take something like a hook and hook it onto your backpack or your bag or whatever. Another thing that you can do is consider using an Airtag or a tracker to keep track of your coat. And hook it somewhere in your jacket, maybe on the hook where you hook it up. You could put it in a pocket, you could sew it in a little bit on the inside. This tip might be a little excessive, but I tend to be a very forgetful person when it comes to things like this, and I know I'm gonna need it. So I figure if I need it, maybe one of you might need it as well. If you're enjoying this video so far and you're finding it helpful in any way, definitely give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more travel tips. Next tip is, if you're going to a destination where there will be snow, don't forget to pack sunscreen and sunglasses to protect your eyes from the snow glare. Snow reflects a lot of sunlight, and I had to learn this the hard way when I was living in New York. In the city, I feel like the snow usually tends to melt pretty quickly depending on how much snow has fallen, but I definitely had a lot of moments where I would walk out of my apartment and be like, I'm blinded. Like, why is it so bright out here? Okay, this next tip is gonna be a little harder to do, but you wanna make sure you check the weather and consider the type of cold you're going to be in. Winter is different everywhere, and you just wanna be prepared. To me, a winter with cold, sharp winds is gonna feel different to a winter with heavy snow and rain. Make sure you research things like the winds. Is it more of a wet or a dry winter, to try to just get some insight into what kind of winter you're going to be dealing with. And you can also look up some of the common activities that are done in that destination during winter, and then also pack according to that as well. And also, if you're not someone who's used to heavy winters, you're also going to want to maybe mentally prepare for that as well. Something I said in the last video I think is worth repeating here, and that is that when you're packing for winter, try to think about your trip as a whole. Because yes, it's winter, yes, you're gonna be cold, but you are going to be coming in and out of that cold most likely. And you'll want to pack according to your potential itinerary and not necessarily because it's gonna be cold. So think about how you're gonna be getting around. Are you gonna be doing a lot of walking? Are you gonna be doing a tour? Maybe that tour will be outside. And think about the amenities of your hotel as well. If you're concerned about saving space and you do have a few bulky items that you do wanna bring, consider using compression packing cubes or using a vacuum pack system. I know a lot of travelers will use some sort of vacuum system in the winter, especially if they are avid skiers or snowboarders and they take a big annual trip every year to go skiing. I know a lot of people will pack that way to save space in their luggage. You can buy vacuum sealing bags on Amazon for a decent price, and all you have to do is make sure you remember to bring the pump. This way you can bring more items and save space in your luggage. But do keep in mind, this helps with space, but not with weight. And that leads me to my next tip, which is to keep track of the weight of your luggage. And you can easily do this by using a digital luggage scale. They're so lightweight, and honestly, one of the easiest ways to keep track of how much your luggage weighs throughout your trip. This is also going to be helpful if you're doing some city hopping, especially in Europe and you're flying. I know that during winter, sometimes I try to pack my sweaters flat. If I have just one or two, I might kind of tightly roll them or fold them and stick them in a corner somewhere, find an empty crevice that I can stuff them in. But I love packing cubes. I'm a packing cube girl. That's my preferred way of packing. But when it comes to sweaters, I like to just lay them flat. I try to lay them flat as easily as I can to try to save some space. And my last tip is to consider traveling with a backpack. This can be a little harder to do in winter, especially if you are traveling with a heavier, thicker coat, because sometimes it's hard to get those backpack straps over that coat. But if you can swing it, consider it, because it might help. If you are looking for some good winter travel essentials and you need a little help, definitely check out this video right here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.